Marvel has finally pulled back the curtain on something fans have been piecing together for months, and it turns out the connection between Spider-Man Brand New Day, Daredevil, Born Again Season 2, and the upcoming Punisher special presentation runs far deeper than anyone imagined. The studio officially confirmed what the Marvel fandom had been theorizing since the first trailers dropped. All three projects are not just set in the same universe, they are directly, narratively linked, forming a tightly woven timeline that culminates in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Marvel even released the full release schedule to make the sequence crystal clear. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is rolling out week by week right now. And immediately after its season finale, the Punisher special presentation officially titled Punisher: One Last Kill will drop. Spider-Man Brand New Day follows after that. The Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer had already raised eyebrows with its footage of Peter Parker and Frank Castle sharing the screen. Their dynamic in those scenes is unmistakably familiar. Spider-Man calls the Punisher by his first name, Frank, which immediately signals prior history between the two. In one charged sequence, the Punisher fires his oversized gun point-blank at Spider-Man through his webbing without a moment's hesitation. Not out of hatred, but seemingly because he knows full well it will not kill him, just slow him down. He is in the middle of a tank chase at the time and has zero intention of stopping to have a conversation. Spider-Man, for his part, responds in pure Peter Parker fashion. He does not knock the Punisher unconscious, does not escalate with lethal force, just taps the brakes and at one point literally slaps him out the back of his van. When the Punisher starts cursing, Peter webs his mouth shut to keep the film PG-13, something Kevin Feige himself had publicly flagged as an intentional creative decision when the Punisher's involvement was first announced. Tom Holland described the relationship in a new interview posted alongside the trailer, explaining that it begins as mutual wariness, two people who are not exactly fans of each other, but evolves into something resembling a big brother and little brother dynamic. By the end of the film, part of what makes that chemistry feel so lived in is the real-world relationship between Holland and Jon Bernthal. The two have worked together on multiple projects, including Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, and they have history going back even further. When Holland was auditioning for Spider-Man in Captain America: Civil War, Bernthal was simultaneously auditioning for the Punisher role in the Netflix series. They helped each other prepare. That bond clearly translated on screen, with the two improvising extensively during production to find the right emotional register for their characters' evolving alliance. By the later portion of the trailer, the Punisher can be seen communicating with Spider-Man through comms, the two clearly working in coordination. There is also a large ensemble fight scene in the trailer where the space around Spider-Man has been notably left open, suggesting other major characters, possibly Daredevil, possibly Hulk, are present but have been deliberately obscured from the footage. The connective tissue between all three projects starts with the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 1. In the post-credits scene of that finale, the Punisher escapes Kingpin's underground prison and disappears. Marvel has now officially confirmed that his disappearance leads directly into the events of Punisher: One Last Kill. The Punisher goes to ground after breaking out, but something pulls him back into the fight, and based on behind-the-scenes footage, that something appears to involve the Nucci crime family. The Nucci name is not new to the MCU. Frank Castle had already crossed paths with that organization in the very first episode of the original Netflix Punisher series. And in the comics, Ma Nucci stands as one of his most formidable recurring villains. It appears she is positioned as the central threat in the special presentation, with the Punisher hunting the family down or being forced to fight when they come for him first. Either way, the conflict reignites something in Castle, pushes him to pick up the skull again, put on a new version of his costume, and fully embrace the Punisher identity once more. That renewed purpose is what carries him directly into the orbit of Spider-Man: Brand New Day. The Punisher: One Last Kill post-credits scene is reportedly a direct Brand New Day tease, and it involves Sadie Sink's character. In the main film, her character appears to be working alongside the Punisher, which explains details that fans had clocked from early images: the combat boots, the functional off-the-rack gear, the green and yellow color coding that lines up with classic Jean Grey from the X-Men comics. An in-house Marvel artist even labeled her Jean Grey in a comic-style rendering that circulated online. In the Brand New Day trailer footage, she visibly demonstrates what appear to be mind-reading abilities. And at one point she is shown restrained and in custody damage control, seemingly being one of the parties that wants her, alongside what is believed to be the film's primary antagonist, the Jackal. In the comics, the Jackal is a scientist obsessed with hybridizing DNA to engineer superior beings, a conceptual cousin to Mr. Sinister in the X-Men corner of Marvel lore. If Sadie Sink's character is indeed Jean Grey, the Jackal becomes an unsettling natural villain for that story. The Punisher's arc in the special presentation essentially ends with him choosing to protect her, a callback to Punisher Season 2 on Netflix, where a similar instinct to shield a young woman in danger defined his journey. The wider timeline locks into place when you account for where Spider-Man has been all along. Since the conclusion of No Way Home, Peter Parker has been operating as a street-level hero in New York City for roughly a couple of years by the time Brand New Day begins. He has been present for the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, listening to police bulletins and tracking what has been happening in the city, including the Punisher's activities and Daredevil's war with Kingpin. The film's Brand New Day setting is notably post-Kingpin as mayor. The scene of a city official presenting Spider-Man with the key to the city does not feature Wilson Fisk, which strongly implies the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 end with Kingpin being removed from office, likely through the combined efforts of Daredevil and whichever Defenders adjacent characters appear that season. On the business side, Marvel and Sony's current relationship around Spider-Man appears to be in genuinely good shape at the executive level. However, the restrictions around where Spider-Man can and cannot appear remain a source of friction for creatives. Sony holds tight control over the character's appearances in TV-adjacent content, which is why Spider-Man does not show up in Daredevil Born Again despite being an active presence in the same city during the same period. Similarly, Vincent D'Onofrio has publicly expressed interest in going up against Spider-Man in a film, but that door remains Sony's to open or close. What Marvel has assembled here is genuinely ambitious, a coordinated narrative handoff between a streaming series, a special presentation, and a major theatrical release, each one setting the table for the next while telling its own contained story. The Punisher gets reforged through his battle with the Nucci crime family. Daredevil and the Defenders clean up the political rot Kingpin has planted in New York. And Spider-Man inherits a city in transition, a fractious new ally in Frank Castle, and a mysterious young woman at the center of what may turn out to be the MCU's first true X-Men story told from a ground-level perspective. With Daredevil Born Again Season 2 already airing and Punisher One Last Kill on the near horizon, the next few months of Marvel content are shaping up to be some of the most interconnected the studio has ever attempted outside of an Avengers film. Whether this level of coordination pays off narratively, or whether the weight of all these moving pieces becomes too much to balance, remains the central question hanging over all of it. What do you think about the Punisher and Spider-Man's big brother-little brother dynamic? Is that the team-up you have been waiting for? And who do you believe Sadie Sink is really playing Jean Grey? Or someone else entirely? Drop your theories in the comments. And if this breakdown helped connect the dots for you, hit the like button and subscribe so you do not miss the full Daredevil Born Again Season 2 coverage coming next.